Hello, everybody! My name is LattMackey, and we are keeping this TurboGrafx-16 block going with the one, the only, well, I guess it's not the only, there's actually a couple of them, but this is Zonk on the TurboGrafx-16, and you'll already notice right away that I am playing the PC Engine version. That's for a couple different reasons, but one obvious. So I'm going to be doing a speed run of this game, and for anybody who knows this game, it's a shoot 'em up, it's a shmup, and doing a speed run of a shmup is kind of weird because it's kind of just an auto-scrollery type game, but there actually are a lot of time saves against bosses and things like that. The Japanese version of this game, the PC Engine version, has some really interesting differences that my virtual account is going to be telling us a little bit about. I'll first let them introduce themselves. Evan, go ahead and start with you.
Hi, I'm Evan.
And Sean, go ahead.
I'm Sean, aka Stumped, but I have no idea how to actually say my username, so let's just go with Sean.
Okay, I'm so glad to hear you say that. You don't know how to pronounce your name either, because I had no idea. That's why I'm letting you introduce yourself. So anyway, this is we're gonna jump right into it because we got a half an hour run here, so we want to get this thing going. I'm gonna do something really quick. There's some companions in this game. Every level, I'm gonna be able to get a companion. You'll see what I mean in just a second. But I'm gonna try to skip that to see if we can get this going as fast as possible. So Evan, go ahead and count us down.
3, 2, 1, go.
Okay. So the way that this game works is there was a bunch of different ways. I skipped the skip, but didn't quite get the skip. But basically, you'll see you have I call it the pea shooter or the default weapon. But every weapon you can power up. So every weapon has a powered up attack just like that. And there are smiley faces and a whole bunch of those kind of things throughout the run. And I'm going to collect only a certain amount of power smiley faces, because there are some things that I'm going to try to avoid. Like powering up animations when you get your companion buddy actually takes quite a bit of time. So we want to avoid those, except if we get the right companion. I have the companion set to auto right now, so you'll see in just a second. The game is going to choose which companion to get. And the reason we do auto is because it's faster. Okay. So, Sean, tell us a little bit about this. This is the Scud missile.
Scud missile, all right. So Scud missile gets its name from, originally in the Gulf War, Saddam Hussein's regime used Scud missiles, and everybody else kind of copied that name afterwards for their base missiles. And Japan decided, hey, you know what, we're going to troll a little bit, and we're going to put a Saddam Hussein Easter egg into every song.
Which is insane, by the way. I had no idea that even existed until Sean brought that up last night, this morning. I don't know. It was very recent where I just learned about this. So, Evan, what?
Should probably talk.
Yeah, go ahead.
I was say we should probably talk about how we got to Zonk. So
Yes.
Zonk might look familiar if you've ever played a Bonk game, but apparently NEC and Hudson decided, along with Red, that Bonk was too boring for the 90s to be a mascot, so they said, let's turn him into a cyborg and give him some sunglasses. And thus we got 90s Bonk, also known as Zonk.
The cool version of Bonk, if you will.
Yes.
So you notice already we had our first mini-boss. Every stage, there's 5 of them. And the last stage is going to be, just like any other Bonk game, will be half the run. There's always a mini-boss and there's a regular boss for every single stage. And that's where all the most of any sort of losing time, gaining time, all that stuff can happen is in the mini-boss and boss fights. You'll notice for the most part, the game itself is just basically an auto-scroller. So if you take a death or anything like that, it doesn't cost you too much time, but all the time, the route is all around specific power-ups so that we can get through mini-bosses and bosses faster. I would say a fair amount of the work, and I think I saw him in chat, has been done by Great John in this game. He was one of the first people, I think. John, you might have been the first one to ever submit a time in this game, come to think of it.
He was,
okay.
Yeah. The other interesting thing is Matt's going to be trying to maximize the amount of extra lives he can get as he goes through the game, because the final level, as with all Bonk games, is a big long boss rush, and having those extra lives makes it that much easier. You can be a little less safe with your attacks. You can jump right on the boss, use your iframes to get as much damage in as possible.
Don't you mean rad? Yeah, so true, right? We gotta use the proper 90s terminology. This game Zonk is so rad. So we're going to go right into stage 2. There will be no companion selection because the game is on auto, just like as we mentioned earlier. So Sean, can you tell us a little bit about the lore in this game?
Yeah, so basically what I've been able to find, because it's not like a lot of late 80s, early 90s games had a ton of in-depth storytelling like you might see today. But the basic idea is that the aliens, or I always thought they were dinosaurs, but the alien dinosaurs from Bonk 3 have apparently kidnapped Bonk and turned him into a cyborg. And here we go. If you actually look at a picture, like an HD picture of Zonk, you will see that, I mean, he has the cyborg left side, but it is completely just Bonk's character model on the right.
The weapon that I have right now, this like laser thingy, is one of the strongest weapons in the game. And for a while, my route actually was routed around getting this laser for a bunch of different stages. But I think John and Sarah, who's the current world record holder, found some really cool strats around the punching glove, which we'll see later on in this stage. We now have the tractor companion. Is there anything you can tell us about the little tractor? It looks like a tractor truck. I don't know if that's actually what it is.
Looks like a dump truck.
Dump truck. There we go. Okay.
Yeah, that would be Power Dump.
Power Dump.
Power Dump has literally zero information on it. From what I've checked, there's a couple. Okay, a couple of them have some really good descriptions, like Scud, Spike Lee, the Bublican, Moo Moo. But a couple of them are just, yeah, these exist. Let's pretend they don't.
Yeah, and as Matt said, in general, he's going to avoid, so that if you get a second large smiley power-up, you actually merge with your companion and you have some invincibility, and then you also have a much more powerful attack. But the merging takes a few seconds and can slow down the run. So in a lot of cases, Matt's going to avoid that. He might choose to merge if he happens to get it right before a boss, or if there's good meme potential.
Absolutely.
Oh, there is meme potential.
Unfortunately, the animation it takes, you'll see, we'll get one so we can actually get a feel for it, but the animation unfortunately takes quite a bit, so as far as a speed run goes, not exactly the thing you want to do. But you know what? We're having some fun here. It's Retrothon. We're going to get a little crazy. So this is the boxing glove, and this is the weapon we'll use quite a bit throughout the run.
Yeah. The boxing glove has the best powered up ability, right?
Yeah, because it hits it. If you'll notice, it hits whenever it hits an enemy, it hits it forward and going backwards. So you get kind of like double damage with it because of the way and then you're shooting two of them at once. So, and for this mini boss, you can only damage when the head appears. So I'll be avoiding. Oh, I almost thought I got hit there. That was close. So we'll be avoiding these things, and we're waiting for the head to pop out, and that's when we'll actually shoot it. But so, like a lot of shmups, one of the things we're going to be trying to do is reduce the amount of lag that we have on screen. And the way you do that is to try to keep in control of the amount of sprites that you're putting on the screen, which is not as always easy as it looks. So I tend to have a trigger finger and just want to press the attack button as often as possible. That's not always best for a speed run of this game. So. One of the attacks I forgot to mention too is the back attack. You'll notice that occasionally Zonk has a firing behind him, and that's automatic. There's nothing I don't have any control over that whatsoever, except it's proximity based. So whenever I'm near an enemy behind me, it'll and a lot of times that actually can get you out of some big jams.
Yeah, you definitely can.
Go ahead, Evan.
Go ahead. Oh, I was gonna say you definitely can get into situations where you actually get ahead of the enemies, and that's the only place that's really safe, and it will take them out behind you without much trouble.
Right.
Whenever I was watching your practice runs in the last couple days leading up to this, because believe it or not, Chad, he did actually practice.
You may not be able to tell, but I did.
I honestly thought that was like a speed up boost kind of thing that came out from behind Zonk. I didn't know that it was a AI kind of weapon. Kind of thing. you had no control over.
And I just lost it. So this is going to be a little bit slower, but we have some backup scratch here, thankfully.
So that was the bag of trash boss. And now this boss I have named Orange Waterfall because he kind of looks like an orange waterfall. And the Orange Waterfall is the unofficial hardest boss in Bonk's Revenge.
No
it's
kidding.
the hardest level in the game, so...
Got through. Yeah, that's definitely Pizza the Hut. If anybody's ever seen Spaceballs, without a doubt, that's Pizza the Hut. So we are
I'm gonna
off.
show my age here, but I need to see that.
Okay, Sean, you can just get off the call now. That's fine.
All right, Matt and I are moving forward.
Yeah. Here's some of my favorite music in the game. One of the things you've already noticed is that the game's got wonderful audio. It's got great visuals. It's really a highlight of what the TurboGrafx-16 has to offer. And this is some of my favorite music in the entire game.
Yeah, I've noticed since I really came into the retro community and the people that I've watched that do TV, all of those games have such good soundtrack.
It's one of the things I think TurboGrafx-16 did really well, being, actually, everyone should tell, I mean, most people here probably know, but just in case somebody hasn't heard of the TurboGrafx-16, when, did it exist? What's kind of the life cycle of the TG-16?
So it came out, I have to always try and remember this. It came out, I believe, before the Genesis, but after the NES. It's kind of, the hardware-wise, it's kind of like a souped-up NES. So... it's very, it is a 8-bit system with a 16-bit GPU, essentially, which is where the TurboGrafx-16 comes from. But the sound chip in it, they did a really good job. The programmers for the games in general did a really good job of developing music for their games.
I like this. Athena in the chat says, Spaceball is the PC Engine console. Why didn't that
There
come
you go.
out? God, I would have loved that. How was there never a Spaceballs game, by the way, for any console? How did that opportunity get missed?
I don't know that there's much Spaceballs merch in general. I know it's a meme of the movie,
Yeah.
but I don't know that there actually really is much merch.
Oh, funny.
You can only meme so hard.
Oh, that's a good point.
That's true, and I guess it's a better joke if there actually doesn't exist any of this product placement, right?
Right, exactly. So this is actually my favorite weapon in the game. Unfortunately, this will be we'll only use it in this level here, but these are I call them the chain chomps. Sean, do you know if these have a name, the chain chomping thingies?
I honestly have no clue.
Yeah, same
I'm
here.
trying to figure out which who your
Oh, yes.
partner is
The
right now.
companion is the, he does the world winning, he has he's like a, oh God.
He's a mummy.
A mummy, there we go, thank you. I couldn't even describe it.
Okay, well, it's not Rip because that's a dog.
No, it's the one that's like a cone. It is the, I don't know what you call it thing. We really should have this, should know the names of some of these things, but.
It's more fun this way.
One of the,
I'm gonna go ahead and say that that's Astra, but I know it's not.
Okay, we're gonna claim that though as canon. So one of the things that is unfortunate about this weapon though is that it puts a fair amount of sprites on the screen. So I do. Oh, the drill. There we go. Drill head. We do have to be a little bit more careful about how many sprites I actually put on. So you see, I just caused some lag because of that. So drill-headed mummy with jet feet. There you go. That works. I think that's fair. Stop screwing.
That's the translation of the German name.
Right. The German name. Perfect. Thank you, Smitty, with the puns. Appreciate it. And we are done with stage 3. Woo, we made it through another level.
So you've seen Matt use a bomb a couple times, but I don't know that you've seen the bomb spray. It's pretty glorious.
Yeah, I'll actually say I can throw one off here at the beginning of the stage 4.
Yeah.
And give it a sec. And that is the nuclear strike. I don't know. What do we call it? I call it pink poop, but I don't know actually what it looks like poop.
I call it the cool poop.
The cool
because
poop.
He's got sunglasses.
There you go. That's actually.
That is one of the.
Go, Sean. Go for it.
That is one of the many things that here on the Japanese version, obviously they kept because that's what we're playing. But in the Western releases, they turned the poop into an actual bomb because apparently a bomb blowing up was less offensive than poop.
We apparently just can't take poop here in the States. That's the message I'm getting.
So the companion we're looking for is for the meme potential here is Moo Moo, but as it is choosing random companions, we are unsure of when we will get Moo Moo to join us.
Mr. Krabs is really angry at you.
Yeah. This is by far the toughest stage in the game. Although it's really the reason it's the toughest because you have to keep the idea here is to keep this weapon throughout the entire level. And oh my gosh, and it can definitely be a challenge here because we can get through the mini boss and the regular boss faster when we actually have this weapon here. So you'll see we can. Oh, I just ran right into it. That was dumb. Okay, so we're gonna lose a little bit of time here, but nothing crazy.
I think the strategy is to avoid the projectiles.
You know, it's funny. In a shmup, the idea is to not get hit. Who would have thought, right?
And while this is based off of Zonk, should remember Zonk does not use his head nearly.
That's the thing. That's the one thing I never quite understood. How does he not use his head in this game? That's like the whole series has been based around using your head, and this game doesn't really use it at all.
He's been reprogrammed and retconned by Red. Mind you, Red's a great company just because they made Gods of Thunder, and that has like the greatest soundtrack in history of the world. But you'd think that they would have included some bonk stuff other than just the way he looks, but
John called it out great.
Late 80s, early 90s.
Great John pointed out the don't lose the laser strat. Yes, these actually have names. These are legit names. It's the don't lose the laser strat. Okay, we get our companion is going to be this guy. So unfortunately, no Moo Moo yet. So no Moo Moo.
Do we have a name for this guy?
I don't. He's the guy who has the little. He's made of marbles, or he's made of like balloons or something like that.
He's the flying gumball machine.
There we go.
That is the Bubblekin. And it is a joke on Bubble and American Republican, believe it or not.
Ah.
Oh, that's why he looks like a early 1900s capitalist.
Basically.
With his top hat.
He can only shoot if Matt were to combine with him. His weapon, it's only 15 shots and that's it. He doesn't do anything else other than the invincibility brains that you get for morphing into him.
Yeah, he's like one of the worst. He's the one I found out really quick that is not very good.
It also says that his attack is literally the worst of any of the power-ups for partners. So
it actually says that in the instructions.
Yes, so I'm just gonna go ahead and leave it at that. I'm not going any further into that, so that glitch doesn't get lucky.
I'm gonna try to die less here. This guy's kicking my butt. There we go. Thanks for the good lucks. Let's see. So there's this guy actually is the first one that has two different phases. Oh no, not the first one. He's one of the bosses that has two different phases, and I'm gonna try to use my back attack on him because the back attack is really strong, and it can be a decent strat. Okay, so I wonder if I should I think we're gonna. I'm kind of thinking we should take some intentional death, but 3 deaths is a lot, so we're gonna keep going. The reason I bring that up is because of where we start from if we game over, which is a little scary. But technically we were on the last stage now. I don't know. I mean, you want to talk a little bit about like the history of like last stages for Bonk and everything like that?
So in pretty much every Bonk game, the last stage ends up being a third to half of the actual run because they introduce a bunch of new levels with a bunch of new tiles and sprites and all that. Everything's new in the final stage, except for the bosses where you fight every single boss again. Usually with little change. Sometimes the level design that you face the boss is slightly different, but Yeah, you just end up fighting all the bosses again before you fight King Drool. And there is a King Drool in this game.
There is. We do get a drool. And you notice I actually got the cards. That's actually an addition that was made. My original route of this, I would get the laser in this level, and it just seemed like it mowed through the enemies a little bit quicker. But John pointed out that, hey, if he gets the cards, it can clear everything on the screen a little bit quicker. And I thought the cards might contribute to more lag, but no, he was right, actually. It actually does help quite a bit because you're clearing sprites off the screen with them. So it's a nice way to move a little bit quicker.
Yeah, the powered up card ability is basically to throw cards across the whole screen.
The companion now, Sean, is the smallest guy with sunglasses. I don't know what almost like a statue, but
Yeah, I was thinking that was. Oh boy, I lost what his name was. But I'm gonna go ahead and say that might be Mumbles, but
okay.
I could be wrong.
So I'm gonna, let's see, I want to get the Fox and Glove, and I'll show you here real quick what it looks like. So we're gonna combine forces, and one of the things about combining the forces is that you actually become invincible as well. So you see, that's why we don't get these things, because of the amount of time loss it takes for that animation right there. But you do get cool weapons like this. This guy gets he throws tornadoes.
Yep, he waves his fan and throws out small cyclones.
With our powers combined, that is true, Smitty. It does in honor of Earth Day that we just recently had. We get some Captain Planet.
He also has put on some blush and some lipstick.
Of course, like any good, I wouldn't. I was about to say crime fighter, but that wouldn't accurately describe what's going on right now.
So does this mean there's no chance of Moo now?
We still have some chances at Moo, but it's later on. We'll see if we can get enough smileys. I will be trying to get it. Almost feel like we should have selected Moo.
These are two like clones of Bonk that you're fighting, basically.
Right.
I'm beginning to think Red ran out of ideas at the very end of the spot.
Yeah.
Just started throwing whatever in.
Like, Drool decides he can't beat Zonk, so he just makes his own versions of Zonk. Also, if you've ever played Bonk's Adventure, this level is basically the first level of Bonk's Adventure, but in a shmup form.
I thought it looked familiar whenever I was watching Matt practice, but it's like I haven't played Zonk, so I had no way of really knowing. But that makes a lot of sense now.
You may or may not have noticed, but at the end of every stage, you actually lose your power-ups. And even though we're still technically in the last stage of the game, there are a couple different points of this last stage where we're going to lose all of our power-ups. And that was one of them, so I had to power back up. And this stage is basically almost over. And that was it. But we actually get to keep the power-ups as we go into here. So we're trying to get some smileys. This part of this is the other, I would say, challenging stage for me, and you'll see why. There's going to be a lot of stuff being put on the screen here, and I might not talk as much here. So Evan and Sean, please feel free.
This is the common trope that you see in shmups of the asteroid level, essentially, just a bunch of things that get in your way and are hard to blow up as you run through the level.
And make speed running hard because of lag.
Yep.
Oh, yes. I'm going to keep one here.
Yeah. If you're not familiar with how a lot of these older game systems worked, oftentimes the sprites were not single sprites. They may have been 4 or 16 sprites all combined together.
Dang it.
And so what you end up with is, while it looks like there's only 3 or 4 sprites on the screen, there's actually like, 40 sprites on the screen to make up these larger sprites that you're seeing.
And the enemy that I'm fighting now really makes me think that I'm right in my assertion that they are alien dinosaurs and Bonk. That was so a Triceratops.
Okay, well, we're running a little bit scary here.
Yeah, wow, we're at the edge of lives.
It's gonna be a little bit close, but you got a couple back for beating this guy. So at least we're in that. So we're gonna head into a good old-fashioned boss. Oh no, we have one more level, and then we have a boss rush. So. Oh no, boss rush first. I knew that. I knew that we had the boss rush first. I've been playing this all week. How do I forget about this?
He's played this game before, Chad.
Promise.
I promise you he has.
If you guys are watching the score at home and looking for, some information about the high score, you get like 95% of your points in a score run from beating the final boss. So if it seems like he's way behind in score, he's really not.
Start again.
Uh-oh.
We're getting close. We're getting close. Thankfully, I have a weapon. We'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. We're living on the edge, folks. We are living on the edge, legit. But that's why the estimate is at 35 minutes, specifically for this last level, actually.
Chat, cross all your fingers and toes that you're capable of crossing.
Okay, that's good. You'll see how much quicker these bosses go when you have a powered up weapon, especially the glove or the laser. The glove or laser just tears through these things.
Yeah. Yeah, like I said, that powered up glove that just hits multiple times as it goes through the boss is really useful.
Yeah, I'm keeping my distance here a little bit just to play it a little bit safer. Thank you, weapon, for the blessing.
Social distancing.
Yes, exactly. Stay at least 6 feet apart. Try to get him there, and there we go. Okay, good. So we kept our weapon to this boss, which is where we really did the most. Gonna need to shoot off another poop missile. I'm not hitting him. Come on. Ah. Okay, that was actually pretty good. I don't remember. There's a checkpoint here at somewhere in this level. And I don't exactly remember where it is. It's been a while since I've game over here.
Well, now that you said that, we talked about LattMackey's law over Murphy's law.
Whatever can happen will happen. Okay, we got through the boss rush. So we actually have a little bit of a leeway here. We can definitely use another live, though. Now we are at the toughest part of the entire game, which I'd like to say sarcastically, because it's sarcastic, but we don't have to do anything. We could literally just stay down here the entire level, and we'll get through it.
The hard part
he
is
trying to curse himself.
Yeah.
The hard part is trying to is stopping yourself from trying to attack all of this stuff on the screen.
John, do you remember where the checkpoint is here in the last level? Honestly, it's totally escaping me what happens if I do game over, but because we still have a fair bit to go. We have another. We're gonna face the brothers together, or the Drool kids, and then we have I don't know, was it 4 phases of Drool coming up? So Evan, this seemed like it was one of the more. Oh, sorry, Sean, go ahead.
No, Liz just said it doesn't have a start.
Oh, okay, maybe not. Well, there we go. That could definitely be the case.
Yeah, so while we're going through this level, we get to see the factory where these cyborg Chikun are made.
Oh, geez, I got the cards. That was not exactly on purpose. A little bit tough to avoid there.
I was watching you do that and say, well, wait, what is he shooting?
That was not on purpose. Guess we're going to avoid a bunch of... The idea here is obviously not to get hit, but because you do actually get some lives back if we can... I want to get some back attacks in on these guys, but it's a little bit scary. Okay, and that's really scary. Okay, that's the tough... Oh, no! Okay, well, let's see. Oh, I got an extra life. Okay.
Oh, wow.
That was so lucky. Oh, dude, he's off screen. What am I supposed to do with this?
Come on, pea shooter.
I can't hit him when he's up there.
Yeah.
Okay, we have another extra life. Woo!
This is the...
I'm literally on the end of my
skin Matt's teeth.
Oh, no. Okay, that's another death. We're going to get some hits on him, and then we'll shoot him again.
I mean, at least this game for a shmup isn't as brutal as, say, Gradius, in terms of if you die and have another life, you are royally.
We just got super lucky by beating Drool there, because when we beat Drool there, on this version, we get 9 extra lives. I'm literally, folks, I can't believe that actually just happened. So I'm clenching the seat, if you will, folks. So, Evan, why don't you tell us a little bit about the last boss fight in this one?
Well, you fight the three individual pieces of Drool's spaceship bulldozer thing, and then they form into one, and then you fight the mega tank version.
The cool version of Drool, if you will, right?
Yes. This is Mecha Drool, I guess.
Mecha Drool.
There's a Mecha Godzilla, then there's a Mecha Drool.
The heat-seeking missiles are the worst attack. They're really tough to avoid.
All this thing is Drool and his kids have formed a Megazord, for anybody that is familiar with Power Rangers.
And you can see why they give you all the lives here. I don't want to nuke. Nuking here just really causes lag and stuff like that. But I guess at this point we shouldn't. We should be happy to actually get some hits in.
Yeah.
Yes, I'm losing a lot of lives, but that's the way that this fight goes. That's why they give you so many lives usually. I think you get. I don't know if you get powered up on other categories too, but
It's really interesting that
there we go.
They give you the 9 lives.
Woo! Okay, we made it.
Yeah,
Sorry.
they give you those 9 lives, and then they're like, "Oh, hey, we think you might need these lives for this next boss."
Oh man, I'm literally okay. That's probably about the most nervous I've been in a run. As far as I know, this is the first time Zonk has been shown off in any marathon. So I'm super excited that we have a Retrothon to do so, to show off something like this. So
I'm a sad panda bear that we didn't get to see Moo or Spikely.
I'm so sorry. Darn random choices.
Yeah. So go get yourself a copy of the Japanese version. Get Moo and get powered up, and you'll see the awesome meme potential.
It's totally worth it. Trust me. First of all, I just wanted to do a couple of quick thank yous. Thank you so much to Evan and Sean for joining me here on commentary and making sure that I actually got through this. And big thank you to Retrothon for showcasing so many wonderful and awesome games, consoles. I mean, there's been everything during this marathon, and I appreciate everything that they do and the fact that RGL puts on this whole thing and that we have this whole thing to do so. Folks, we're not done with the TurboGrafx-16. We're gonna go offline for just a second here, or not offline. We'll go into our take a quick intermission while we get everything else set up. But stick around. We have more TurboGrafx-16 coming up. Thanks, guys, for joining me. Appreciate it.